I decided to watch Shame because George Wendt is in Shame 2, and I figured it makes sense to watch the first one. I don't know if it's necessary to do that, but I figured I might as well. And having now watched it, I can say that the messages are very good. We have a very strong protagonist, but the pacing is terrible. It's painfully slow. So it's not a great film, but with a message like this, I kind of think it might still be worth watching. This was released in 1992. It's directed by Dan Lerner. It's written by Rebecca Soladay, and we have Amanda Donohoe playing Diana. And this is about a very strong female lawyer, our protagonist, who is in this small town, and she finds out that this girl has been raped, and she tries to convince her to speak up about this and press charges. And I will say it takes such a long time to get to that point. It's incredibly slow. And I don't want to say what happens with that, but I will say it's once it gets going, I'd say the second half of the film is quite powerful. It's definitely quite a strong story once it gets going, but it took a tremendous amount of time. What I thought was quite interesting were the attitudes of other people and how different characters responded to this, because there's a bit of variety in how people are responding to this, and I think that worked really well, and it's up to Diana to very much drive this forward and try and get things moving in a more helpful direction, but there are obstacles, and in general, as a concept, I think it's a powerful story. I think there are some very strong messages in this about speaking up, what might happen if you don't speak up, and the difficulties of speaking up itself, because it's easy to say, well, you need to prosecute, but there are going to be a lot of emotional problems coming with that, and I think it does a really good job, from my perspective, at handling all of that, and the second half of the film is quite strong, but the first half is very slow, and that's not to say the second half is amazing. It's still not the strongest narrative, but it certainly picks up, and the messages are very, very clear. So, as I said, it's not a great viewing experience, but Diana is a very, very well-written character. I think Amanda Donohoe gave a really fabulous performance, and the messages are really important. So, it's a bit of a grey area with whether or not I recommend this, because it wasn't that great, but I think there's value in the story. So I guess if you're curious, if it sounds like a film that might be interesting to you, or you might benefit from the messages, then maybe check it out. If you're just looking for an enjoyable film with a gripping narrative and a lot of suspense, then it's probably not a great one to go with. It's also not the hardest watch either, and I feel like with this kind of subject matter, definitely it was heavy at times, but for the most part, I feel like this kind of topic can be very challenging to watch, and it wasn't that difficult to sit through in terms of having a strong emotional response. So, important messages, very, very strong, well-written protagonist, great performance, but the narrative is quite poorly handled. Do I recommend it? Maybe. If you're looking for a good film experience, probably not, but if the subject matter is something you're interested in, or if you could benefit from watching a film of this nature, then maybe check it out. Am I looking forward to Shame 2? I guess. I'm looking forward to George Wendt in Shame 2. I have no idea what it's about. I haven't looked at it. All I did was look at it, realise it was the second film, and decided to watch the first one. Do I regret that decision? No, I don't. It wasn't a horrendous experience, but it wasn't that great either. Watch it if you're curious. Don't if you're not. I think it's a film that could be taken or left. Shame is not a great experience. Definitely room for improvement. But I'd say it's a watchable film.